Hello, my name is Martin Schweiger. I'm a patent attorney in Singapore and also a powerlifter. And today I take you with me on my walk, my daily walk. I try to clock some 7,000 or 10,000 steps every day, sometimes more. Today is Monday, no, wrong, Tuesday, the 4th February 2025, Tuesday. It's now 2:40 p.m. in the afternoon. If you have watched my earlier episodes, then you know that Tuesday and Wednesday are my two fasting days per week. I do that for several reasons. The reason number one, I need to lose weight because more than 2 weeks ago I signed up for the Singapore Powerlifting national competition, and I had something like 6 kg overweight over the class I would like to compete in. So I had a bit more than a month for losing at least 5.5 kg or 5.6 kg, or better 8 kg, which makes it to 2 kg per week to lose. Another reason why I do fasting is because I want to increase my so-called metabolic flexibility. Metabolic flexibility is that the body can burn more than one type of fuel and still produce energy. That, at least I found a scholar article that tries to promote this. I understand. So, but why do I say more than one type of fuel? Okay, the body, which means the cells, can produce energy from glucose. German you would say glucose, and in English they say glucose. Anyway, that's the normal one. Then, of course, from alcohol, then there's a way to produce energy from fat in the fat cells. The liver would then split up triglycerides that are released from the fat cells into ketones. Oops. And then there's also a way to produce energy from proteins, and I believe that's more or less it. But I come later to this point. cancer cells, which means body cells that are somehow altered. They have a way to produce energy from these nutrients without using oxygen. And yeah, it's the second aspect I want to talk about later. But now to my fasting, because some of you are interested in my progress. You know, I started on the 19th of January with a body weight of 110.6 kg. My first fasting cycle was Tuesday, the 21st of January 2025, and morning, something 7:30, my body weight was the same, 110.6 kg. Tuesdays are always water fasting days for me. Water fasting means I only drink water, tea, coffee. No sweetener, no milk, and I don't eat anything. I may take supplements, if I take supplements, but not necessarily. After this Tuesday water fasting, usually until midnight or so, 1 a.m. The Wednesday would be a so-called dry fasting day, which means nothing in. No food, no liquid, just no supplements, just air. And during the fasting days, I also do my walks. They can be quite efficient. And that is to a degree that I'm thinking of putting my strength training days, which are Monday and Thursday and Saturday, such that my training times are in the intermittent fasting window, because I also do intermittent fasting on the other days where I don't do dry and water fasting. But let me explain now. On Wednesday, 22nd of January, which was my 60th birthday. Oh, I made it 60. Cool. Morning, 10:30. My body weight was 2.5 kg down from the evening before. 108.1 kg. That's after just 24 hours water fasting, plus followed by the night from the 21st to the 22nd with not drinking any water or liquid. 2.5 kg. On the Wednesday, the 22nd of January at 4:30 p.m. my body weight was 106.6 kg, which is 4 kg down from my body weight on Tuesday morning. So Wednesday afternoon, after something like 24 plus 16 is 40 hours, is it? Yeah. Fasting, I lost 4 kg. So now the problem is these 4 kg are not a permanent weight loss. On Thursday morning, it's after the wet fasting and the day and the dry fasting day, my body weight was 108.6 kg, so I went 2 kg up. Right? But still I was 2 kg down from my weight on Tuesday morning. So it's a bit like 4 kg down, 2 kg up. And then there are some fluctuations. I don't believe in body weight being a good measurement for health or in general, because there's so many fluctuations. You cannot say that one day you're 2 kg, in my case, I can be 2 kg heavier than the day before. But that doesn't mean that I really gain 2 kg body weight. That counts. But I have the measurement to prove it. So this was the week number 1 after preparing for the competition. Now the week number 2. Same again. Tuesday morning, weighing in, 108.8 kg. That's 200 grams up from the Thursday after the fasting cycle in week 1. Again, it's not really significant. 200 grams is nothing. This is my handphone plus my glasses maybe, or my underwear together. So, Tuesday morning, 8:30, 108.8 kg. Wednesday morning, 7:30, 2 kg down, 106.8 kg. Wednesday afternoon at 6:45 p.m., 104.8 kg. 4 kg down, same as in the week before. But I can tell you, yesterday, which is the start of the 3rd fasting circle after the 2nd fasting circle a week before, body weight up 2 kg to 106.6 kg, and this is today. What I can already predict, tomorrow morning, very likely, my weight would be 2 kg less, or maybe not 2 kg, 1.5 kg. I don't know, depends on how much I walk today. I'm a bit under time pressure because I have some projects to finish. But it doesn't matter. What I can tell you is that in these 2 fasting days per week, as seen on the long perspective, together with my intermittent fasting, plus my strength training days, the 2 or 3 that I do, plus the daily walking, I lose about 2 kg weight, which is my target, right? I will update you tomorrow after I broke my dry fasting and report about a new personal record downwards, because I believe currently I'm as lightweight as I never have been for the past 20 years. Feels good, by the way. I can feel the impact on my body. Yeah. Also my URA values have improved a lot, but I think this is because of the staying away from alcohol 100%. That also leads me to my next observation. People, sometimes when I talk with them and I say, hey, why don't you take a continuous blood glucose meter, they are very reluctant. And I believe some of them are reluctant because they fear the outcome of the measurement. But there's no reason to fear. I believe no medical diagnosis, whatever out there, is a reason to fear. Because if you have once experienced that you can influence the state of health of your body, then you would recognize there's no reason to fear any diagnosis. I've met 2 persons in person that were cured from brain and lung cancer. There's a recent video of Dr. I believe Alex Berg, one of the experts that I follow, and he interviewed a French or Belgian who was diagnosed stage 4 cancer, so that the doctor told him, hey, you have only a few days or weeks to live because of the cancer that spread throughout your body, even into the bones. There's nothing that we could possibly do for you, so enjoy the final days. And what he did is he went on fasting the tough way. You Google on YouTube, this guy should have been dead for 6 years already or something like that. Also, if you go for Dr. Berg, you would also find this. And he has also written a book in French with a French title, How I Fought Cancer Successfully or something like that. Yeah? And it was all done with fasting, and he was only lucky that he didn't get the chemo, because that would have made it tougher for the body to react to the fasting. Why do cancer cells die when you fast? Very simple. Because if you fast, which means you don't eat stuff, then the body would convert fat into fuel, and that's ketones. And cancer cells, I mean, I'm on very thin ice, right? I'm a patent attorney and engineer and not a doctor. But it's said that cancer cells cannot thrive on ketones, and they die earlier than the healthy cells. And then also fasting would put the body into autophagy, which means that those useless cells and the dead ones first, they are cleansed out. But I believe is a bit more complicated than that, because cancer cells are also very smart. They can occupy other particles that can travel through the body, and then they can seek refuge. That's probably the reason why cancer also can flare up. But again, I'm not a cancer expert. You must find out for yourself if you have that. I don't have cancer, at least not that I know. I have tumor markers in my blood for 20 years. And yeah, but I still live and I do nothing against. I believe that's just the tumor markers is not really a marker for tumors, but it's more a sign for changes. So my TCM, traditional Chinese medicine doctor, tells me that he has a lot of patients who come to see him and they are scared of the tumor marker measurements. Yeah, I was just lucky that I found an old lab report with the same tumor marker measurement that was taken a year ago. It took me a week to get this, and then I found out the measurement value is the same, just that the lab used a different threshold for determining what is normal and not. Sorry, as an engineer, if you ask me, this is quite stupid as an engineer. But maybe I'm just not getting it. There's even a whole theory built on that teaching. I talked about that before. There's always in life, there are two sides, two opinions very often. I would say every scientific area has that. And in cancer, there's the one side that says cancer cells, tumor cells, are caused by the wrong genetic code. So it's considered a genetic disease. And then the other side says tumor cells have the wrong metabolism, and that metabolism goes so far that it changes the genetic code of the cells. I believe you need to decide yourself which side you see as the more plausible. What I can tell you is that the experts in the latter side, which means those who say cancer is a metabolic disease, have the better arguments for explaining how to treat cancer, and they also have the better results. I recommend that you watch the videos of Dr. Thomas Seyfried. Actually, he was also the medical doctor who treated the French guy I spoke before, the one with the 6 years. And there's a video, something like 55 minutes long, on YouTube, where he explains that where and why and how he sees cancer as a metabolic disease. And then there's a second video, more recent one, only maybe a month old or so, and he has published a paper describing his experiments with cells, cancer cells. And he observed that cancer cells not only can derive energy from fermenting glucose without oxygen, and they do that. And even if there's a mitochondria there, and the mitochondria has not only the glucose but also oxygen, there would be fermentation in the cell and also in the mitochondria. So something is very wrong. Here, I'm here now, walking along the river. That It is something I really like. Yeah. So cool. And he says that this insight is a missing link in understanding the so-called Warburg, W-A-R-B-U-R-G cycle in the cell that explains how cancer cells, the metabolism of cancer cells. And what he did, it's amazing. He showed that the cells and mitochondria can not only turn glucose into energy by fermenting it, they can also turn essential amino acids like glutamine into energy. And that even in the presence of oxygen. With or without oxygen, doesn't matter. So the thing is, in cancer, the body is in fermentation mode. Means it works without oxygen. It's a bit like creating alcohol. You don't want oxygen. I heard, again, thin ice. I'm not a moonshine maker, but I heard that you don't want oxygen if you want to have efficient production. So oxygen is bad for your alcohol making. Now, as an engineer, if I transfer this knowledge to cancer medicine, I would try to get as much oxygen into my body as possible. Number one. Number two, I would reduce the supply of glucose to a degree that I burn all my fat, because the ketone would kill, or not kill, would starve, no, ketones would starve cancer cells faster than normal cells. Number four, I would prepare my mitochondria for being able to produce energy from ketones. Number five, I would try to get my body into autophagy, in German autophagy, as often as possible, just to clean up. Number six, I learned from the video with the French guy with the 6 years. He said, the cancer cells are smart, so I do my fasting such that they cannot predict it. I sometimes give them time, sometimes I do 2 fastings in a very short time, sometimes I do short fastings, sometimes I do a very long fasting, and he did 40 days fasting, which I find quite biblical. probably water fasting and not like Jesus dry fasting. 40 days dry fasting, especially if you're a skinny man, I would say is a miracle if you survive. One more miracle of Jesus. So now you know my recipe. I have one more testimonial. In my list of experts, there's this Dr. Rainer Clement from some hospital in Schweinfurt in Germany. There was an army barrack, I remember, from my active time in the German army in Schweinfurt. So Dr. Rainer Clement, he's a physicist. As I believe I had told you about him before. He said one thing. The many thousands of patients that he has seen in his radiation machines, there was not one single bodybuilder. I mean, you recognize bodybuilders because they have a very sturdy, compact body, like more square than us. I'm not square, but a bodybuilder would have 5 centimeter jacks on each side. Yeah. So, and he believes because of that if you put your body under stress, what is supplied first with energy? Are the muscle cells and not the cancer cells. And yeah, that taken together, I believe it's unlikely that I get cancer soon unless I stop my strength training. And I would encourage you to contact me, please, if you want to know more. I've also put a YouTube channel online, and please subscribe there and give me likes, that helps. So we reached half an hour. See you next time.